guest star who sits here.
There's no guest star.
I think they're out of camera.
Hello!
Oh, hello there! Thank you for joining us once again for the 95th episode of the Drunk Doctor Who podcast, wherein we discuss the
95th serial, The Sunmakers.
Bum, bum, bum.
I'm Hatter, this is Holden. Welcome! If you are just joining us without knowing who we are, I suggest you start 94 episodes ago.
I don't suggest that. I think this is a good start. They start in episode 1, they're just going to see.
Alright. Oh yeah, he pukes twice in episode 1. Alright.
And 2 and 3.
Before you forget how to hold your liquor. Alright. So what are we drinking today, Holden?
I decided to try something new, branch out, broaden my horizons, and I picked up some twisted tea.
Which he drinks pretty much every week. I'm drinking Carlo Rossi Paisano wine.
Paisano.
Yeah, Paisano. Melissa and I went out, Melissa's my wife, we went out to Orlando's for dinner, so we have a red wine. It's good. It's the red table wine at Orlando's. It's delicious. Alright,
or do you have to buy it somewhere else? Do you buy your wine at Orlando's?
No, you can get the wine there and drink it with dinner.
You can take it home with you?
These days you can get it to take home with you, but you're better off, generally speaking, just buying a jug over at...
Oh, they don't sell the jugs?
Or at Doc's or at Ravi's. Ravi's now carries it, thanks to me.
Oh.
Yeah. So
I love Ravi. He's one of my favorite people.
He's fun. I like him.
I don't know his politics, but if he ran for mayor, I would vote for him.
Actually, listen, I just voted for mayor today.
Was it Ravi?
No, he's not. No, but early voting.
Just not for namesake.
Saturday
is the way to do it.
Right, I agree. But Saturday is the main election, and early voting runs through tomorrow if you haven't voted.
Yeah, I usually abstain because I don't follow politics, so.
Well,
like I'll do the research for like presidential elections, but like local elections, it's like.
You gotta go vote. I mean, it's even more important because in local elections, every single vote makes a big difference.
I know.
All right. Anyway, so
is Orlando's local, or is that like a chain?
No,
it's just
there's two of them here locally, and that's
where you live. They know where to find you.
Yeah, Lubbock, Texas.
No. We're gonna have our internet stalkers show up.
You know, we've mentioned that several times during this podcast.
I've edited it all out.
Okay, anyway.
They thought you meant the other line. What did we watch today, Hatter?
The Sunmakers.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's the cover look like? I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's got the collector on it, and there's a doctor, and Pluto with the 6 suns.
His
and all
grossness, his colossusness.
His protuberance.
Drink. We came across a new drinking game, the cereal.
So there's a character called the Gatherer, and he's basically a tax collector, and he takes all this money, gives it to the collector, and every time he would come up with a new name or title or what do they call them? Aphorisms. Aphorisms. Every time he comes up with a new aphorism, that's great. Yeah, yes, your mightiness. Yeah. Every time you'd say that, then you'd be like, okay, drink, and you can get really drunk off of that.
He does like 4 of these in like every sentence.
It's like, do them, all right, do them. All right, so anyway.
And he didn't repeat one.
Okay, so it's 4 episodes. They aired from November 26, 1977 to December 17th, 1977.
Hop in your TARDISes and travel back in time with us. Is it TARDISes or TARDI?
I don't know. I think TARDISes has been the plural used. Companions of Leela and K9.
Did they ever use a plural in this show? Or did they just refer to them singularly as a TARDIS? Do we have a canon plurality of TARDIS?
I think they may have used TARDISes. But I could not put my finger on it at all.
Time to jump on the Wikipedia. This is what I'm concerned about in Doctor Who lore.
Semantics?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
It's like you don't even know me.
Yes, I do.
I'm all bogged down in the semantics.
Alright. The antagonists are the Gatherer, the Collector, and the Company.
And Mandrill was not great.
He becomes great.
Yeah, eventually.
Okay, so what we have is a kind of...
your turn?
No, it's your turn.
My turn? I thought I might have moved.
I think I just took your.
You took my knight, and then I think I moved a pawn.
Did you?
And then I don't know if you moved anything after that.
You sure? I think you were thinking about moving last time, but didn't.
Oh, okay. I thought it might have been your move.
I think you were thinking about moving,
but
didn't move.
Big old blunder last game. I think I eventually moved a pawn.
Did you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll go again if you want me to. I just don't want. We could watch the play.
No, if you think you moved a pawn, then don't worry about it.
I think I moved this one, right?
Okay.
Forward a space.
Alright, cool. I honestly don't remember, even though I was sober last week.
But I could be wrong.
We can always study the playback. Okay. Anyway. What are you doing?
Study. Nothing. I don't do anything.
Right.
I'll be like the doctor. Whoops. Sorry, Kate.
It's actually true. The doctor during this serial at the beginning is playing a game of chess with K9. At the end, he table flips by tilting the TARDIS and knocking the game over. It's kind of...
Shouldn't that all be relative, petty. The movement of the TARDIS? Shouldn't it not jostle like that?
We've shown that it's been shown that it does from time to time, and it can be shifted back and forth.
Especially when they put it in a wagon and collect the condensation and take the lock out of it.
We never see condensation again. That was a one-shot Marco Polo.
And then the Sensorites taking the lock out. We've seen it move
quite a few times. That was weird, yeah.
That was weird. Sensorites, one of the most powerful beings in the galaxy.
But they all look the same. They have to wear the stripes.
Can we talk about the user? We'll get to there.
Alright, so anyway.
What happened to Serial Ladder?
So, episode 1 shows up the doctor's playing chess with K9. K9 has the doctor beat in like 6 moves, mate in 6. And then the TARDIS lands. The center console bit stops moving up and down.
Where does it land?
Lands on Pluto.
Uranus? Oh, Pluto.
Pluto.
Not Uranus.
Drink. Alright.
Lands on Pluto, which is a barren wasteland. But wait, there's cities and structures. Where does this come from?
It lands on the top of this building. The doctor's like, wait a minute, there should be a breathable atmosphere. Wait, there's a big city. There shouldn't be a big city. And a guy is going out. This guy's father passed away. And he owes a death tax, which we have here in the States too.
He didn't die or pass away of natural causes. He was basically euthanized painlessly. He was put to death, and he had the gold euthanization package, which is supposed to imply a painless death, which also implies cost and taxations based on his weight and the disposal of his body.
Well, no, they weren't taxing him on the weight. They were giving him credit based on his weight.
Oh, because he's very skinny.
No. They're getting credit on the weight because it could be recycled, remember?
Well,
they gave him like 18
What is the secret of Soylent Green?
Well, I mean, even we can be turned into mulch,
Or Soylent Green?
Yeah.
You ever watch Snowpiercer?
God, I hated that movie.
You didn't like that movie? They're coming out with a series.
I know. Still hate the movie.
I love the movie. You ever hear the conspiracy theory about the and the Willy Wonka?
Yeah.
Great.
Hated the movie.
Terrible.
We're super lucky to be alive. The entire rest of mankind is dead.
Yes.
But we're going to get pissed off at the people whose ingenuity saved us when we shouldn't be alive. We're going to rebel against them, and we're going to kill the entire human race in the process.
No,
everyone dead.
Human race because they're forcing them to cannibalize each other and eat cockroaches. That's no life.
Better than death.
They were spreading the lie that outside was not livable, even though it was. There were polar bears. The ice was melting. They can re-enter the.
No. The only people that survive is one lady and one kid. and they see a polar bear, and the polar bear will kill them.
No. That's
human race.
Those are
is
the only two
dead.
people we see exit the train, but there's still other people in the cabins. Just because it crashed doesn't mean everyone on the train died.
Human race is dead.
Not everyone on the train.
Their jealousy of the people who gave them life and saved their asses and keep them alive kill them, which is exactly what happens in socialism today.
Blind sheeple. If they destroy the human race, then how come there's a TV series coming?
It's called rewriting it. Okay, so
I think other passengers who are still alive.
No. Okay, so they'll fix that in the TV show, but it's like, have you ever seen the movie Highlander?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the TV show Highlander?
Unfortunately.
Yes, exactly. They rewrite the canon to try and make a TV show, and the movie was already done.
There can only be one, and then one more, and then one other,
and then another one. Oh God!
You would not believe the amount of spin-offs the Highlander has. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, there's an animated show.
There's an animated show, TV show, spin-off show. Countless movies. They're coming out with another movie, I hear.
Another one?
Like next year or the year after.
They are so out of ideas.
The guy from Man from U.N.C.L.E. played Superman. Is The Witcher. He was in the new Mission Impossible movie. Superman.
Wait. Oh, the new Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm thinking the old Man from U.N.C.L.E.
The new Superman, the new Mission Impossible.
I know. I'm trying to think. I'm like, wait. Christopher Reeves? I know he was a Man from U.N.C.L.E.
The new Witcher.
Oh, that's the guy's mustache they got rid of.
The big old mustache. They CG'd that out.
Yeah.
Because he needed the mustache for Mission Impossible. Anyway, that guy wants to play in the new Highlander movie. He's really campaigning for because he's a big old nerd. Who wouldn't want to be the Highlander? It's awesome.
No. I would have wanted to be one of them in the first movie. I don't want to be them in the sixth movie.
Well, it's a revival, so it's going to be good again.
No, it's not how that works.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
If they came out with another Star Wars movie and said, "Do you want to be in Star Wars?" You'd be like, "Yeah, I want to be in Star Wars."
Not now, no.
Well, it's a revival. It's going to be better.
No. Wait, are you talking about a reboot or a revival?
I don't know the difference.
Okay, a reboot.
Well, it's a revival because I'm sure they're keeping the old canon.
Okay, all right. That's the difference. A reboot is brand new story, brand new canon, redoing the old stuff. It's a remake.
They both mean
revival means a continuation of canon.
They both mean new money. Fresh blood.
No, unless they do it right.
Well, not unless you're the BBC and go, here's a nickel, make another season of Doctor Who.
No, they give good money for it these days.
Does not fund.
They give Doctor good money these days. Anyway, all right. So the Doctor shows up on Pluto.
They give other people money to make it.
So nowadays somebody else is giving them money so they can produce Doctor Who, which is Bad Wolf and owned by Sony.
Wait, they're paying for the licensing and the BBC's not funding anything with it?
Okay.
That's the BBC.
Hold on. Let's say you invent Post-it notes, right?
I invent Post-it notes.
Okay. So you make your own Post-it notes and you're making money with Post-it notes. But I come to you and I go, hey, I can make Post-it notes much better, and I will pay you for the rights to make Post-it notes.
You make them in the silly shapes.
So you go, sure. I pay you money for the licensing. It's called licensing for the Post-it notes.
The materials.
Right. And then you get X amount of the profits. You don't pay me, I pay you, but I make money and you make money. You came up with the idea, I come up with the production.
So like I said originally, the BBC doesn't fund any of their shows.
Well, no, not
the BBC
now.
doesn't fund any.
No, they fund other shows. They fund other shows.
You're like, I found some loose change in the couch here. You can do something with that, right? They're like,
Wait till we get to the 7th Doctor.
That's all the BBC shows.
No, wait till we get to the 7th Doctor.
Like, it's really successful for 3 seasons and then,
Wait till
no more funding.
Wait till we get to the 7th Doctor. He sits in the dark because the TARDIS set is too worn down.
Dilapidated.
Yes, dilapidated. That's a good word for it. Mm. So he sits in the dark thinking, contemplating.
That makes me sad.
Me too. All right. So anyway, the Doctor shows up on Pluto. There's a guy who's about to throw himself off a building that's a kilometer high, 1,000 meters.
Because of all the taxation of it, the death tax of him disposing of his father.
Right, because there were too many taxes. The Doctor and Leela save him.
Leela.
Then they
save him by offering him a jelly baby.
They save him by offering the jelly baby, distracting his attention, and pulling him back from the edge of the building.
Jelly babies save lives.
Yeah, I could go with that on a t-shirt. Yeah. All right. So then they go and they're looking for the underground. They're looking for.
It's a David Bowie song.
Yes, it is.
Lavender?
But that's not germane to the subject at hand whatsoever.
Germane. No, I'm English. No, I'm American. It's English.
That is not conducive or important to the subject at hand.
Nein sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Okay. They're German, they're not Dutch.
Deutsch. We had this really mean German kid at summer camp. We all called him a Deutschbag.
You wonder how certain parties get started. Okay.
It was me. We didn't say it to him.
Okay.
Just behind his back. That's a funny joke.
It doesn't matter.
It's funny. I would laugh if someone called. It's clever. I have to laugh at all the Holden McGroin jokes and the.
I've missed this. I've missed the drunk part of Drunk Doctor Who. Because it's been, a month since we've actually done the Drunk Doctor Who as opposed to Heroes and Villains.
How much do I annoy you? How do you put up with this for 95 plus 22 episodes?
Alcohol. How do you think?
Just the hypotheticals and the... I don't mean to say.
Alright.
Thank you for being my friend.
Okay, so the Doctor and Leela save this guy. What's his name?
Cordo.
They save Cordo.
I write little notes by their names to remember who they are. By Cordo, I just wrote poor.
So they save Cordo. Cordo's like, okay, we have to go. And they're like, why? And then the Gatherer shows up. And he's a Grand Poobah. He looks like he's about 6 foot tall. And he's got about a 8-inch hat.
A very self-importance air about him.
Almost a mitre, okay, of a hat. And he comes in and everybody has to listen to him. And he's like, run! And Leela starts running. And then the Doctor starts running and they run off and they get away.
I had a question about this, and it answered itself. Because Cordo runs, and he insists that they must run because the Gatherer is coming. And they're like, why must we run from the Gatherer? He says, because he's the Gatherer. And then Leela runs, and she goes, Doctor, and he's standing there, and he thinks about it, and then he runs, and then they dunk down in the little, what do you call it?
Hatchway?
Yeah. And she's like, why did you run? He's like, I don't know.
Right, but
that is because the PCP in there.
PCM or whatever.
PCM.
Yeah, PCM in the air.
Which is an anxiety-inducing agent that they sent the oxygen with.
Right,
that they're producing the oxygen. There's no trees or plant life, so they create their own oxygen, but they...
infuse.
Yes. Oh, good word. PCM, which is an anxiety, fear-inducing agent, which keeps the people in line subservient.
The proletariat. Yeah. The great unwashed masses. All right.
The plebeians.
Yeah. So anyway, the Doctor runs with Leela and Cordo. And
Gordo, but
with a C.
Yeah.
All right. Who's
less
Gordo?
fat. Gordo is a word for like chancho. Gordo.
Yeah. Es muy gordo.
It's a nickname for chubby kids.
All right.
Es chancho. Es gordo.
Es gordo. All right. So they run away, and then not Gordo, he's actually kind of thin. He's like, okay, we need to get to the underground. So they start going down. I guess at 1,000.
I just keep thinking of that David Bowie song.
Want to live underground? Want to live underground? Yeah. Anyway, so 1,000 meters tall. That's
3,000 feet.
3,100 feet approximately. So 3,100 feet, you're talking about 310, 320 stories. So it's a big building, right? So we're going all the way down 310 stories. Then we're going to go into the bottom levels below that, below ground. That's a big city. Bowie. Yeah. No, not with David Bowie.
With Mandrill.
Yeah, Mandrill. So they head off and they go, and they're going with him, and they go down into the underground.
And then K9 shows up.
Not yet.
No, not yet?
A little bit later.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they're down there, and they meet the underground people, because he says, well, I can't pay the taxes, you didn't let me kill myself, then I have to go hide out and live with the underworld, the underground. So they go down there, and they meet this group of ruffians, for lack of a better term, who live underground. And the leader is Mandrill.
I think he's the leader.
Yeah, he seems the leader. Everybody else kind of listens to him.
He's the most outspoken, loud. I don't think they have a leader.
And obnoxious.
He's the biggest bully of them all.
Yeah.
So, him and Veet, which I think is his girlfriend.
It would seem as such. Or she's with that skinny guy that she ends up with later on in episode 4.
Goundry?
I guess it was her and that skinny guy go and rile the workers together, and at the end they throw the gatherer off the deal, you know?
Such a good scene.
Yeah, it is a good scene. Alright. Okay, so wait, where's the episode?
No hesitation. When the doctor gets gas while he's trying to...
Oh, okay, yeah. So they're down there with Mangrel and the rest of the underworld.
Talons?
And... Talmuts? The
currency?
Yeah.
What are they called?
Talmuts, yeah.
Okay.
Not talents. That's actually a different currency.
I'm calling them talents.
Talmuts.
Talmut.
Alright, so anyway, he's like, well, this little spineless Class D or whatever.
Yeah.
Cordo Class D, little tiny 5-foot little weakling of a guy. He's like, well, you're not going to be any of use to us down here. And then they go after Leela, and they say, oh, she's pretty, and she's wearing real skin, because apparently there's nothing natural on this planet.
No wood.
No wood, no plants.
All imported.
Yeah, all imported.
Mahogany.
Yeah.
You like my desk? It's made out of what they call mahogany.
Yeah, mahogany.
I doubt you've ever seen wood. That's when Cordo was paying his taxes for his dad's.
Yeah, the whole place looks like Alpha Complex in Paranoia, if you've ever played that. Very much so, run by the computer and everything.
Very dystopian.
Very dystopian.
This is a video game you're talking about?
Role-playing game.
Oh, tabletop.
Mm-hmm.
No, I've never played it.
Really fun. Anyway, so in Paranoia, you get 6 clones.
Is that the one where you have the sanity meter and you have to...
No, that's Call of Cthulhu. That's Alright, Paranoia is so deadly you get 6 clones, and you're expected to go through all 6 clones every time you play.
So you're expected to die?
Yeah, lots.
Lose all your clones?
Yes.
So you have 7 lives. Original 6 clones?
No, 6 clones. That's it.
Oh.
You start on number 1, you go through 6, and then you're done.
Oh.
Yeah, but...
That reminds me of like a roguelike game.
Rogue?
Robots go through this arena, and you get upgrades as you go. One of the upgrades is you can purchase a clone, so if you die, you can take the clone.
Sounds like Robo Rally.
Maybe. I forget the name. Oh, it's not a board game, it's a computer game.
Oh, okay. I don't know the computer game, but Paranoia is a role-playing game, but this whole place is basically like Alpha Complex. So anyway, okay, so they're down in the underworld with the underground with the what's his name?
Cordo or Mandrill?
Mandrill. And Mandrill's like, well, look, the woman's got spirit, she can fight. He's a bit of a weakling, but Doctor, you might be useful to us. They immediately try to turn these people to their advantage.
The Doctor looks like what do they call him? ASEC? Like the A class of people of the society.
No, minors, but they were minors.
They called him a something, a sect. Like the A class, like Cordo's a D class.
Right, but it's something like Adric, but it's not Adric.
I didn't write it down.
You didn't write it down?
I thought it was like A sect or something.
Alright, so
like A sector.
Well,
like
they're looking at him.
Did I write it down? Keep going.
Okay, so they think he looks like this because he's tall. The Doctor's Tom Baker's
because the way he
tall
dresses,
and the way he dresses, and they think he's one of these minor types, MINER. Dig mines.
Under 18.
Right, and what?
I didn't write down what they called. It was A something. Telmars.
That's what I said.
Talmud.
No, Telmar for the money.
Yeah.
Alright. Anyway, so they think the Doctor looks like one of these minor types. So they send him up with a counterfeit debit card.
Stolen check, basically.
Well, debit card kind of thing that they're going to put in there. And this is long before those kind of cards.
Yeah, unfortunately, it was reported stolen.
So he goes in the ATM to get the money out, 1,000 Talmars, but it realizes it's counterfeit. A deal comes down, and he's stuck inside the booth with the ATM, and it gasses him.
And Cordo hightails it. And that's the end of episode 1. Yep.
Episode 2.
You're blazing through this expeditiously.
Yeah.
So the security guards come.
So it might be like a 1-hour episode instead of a 3-hour episode.
They put the Doctor on the stretcher and they take him to the correction facility where he meets his best friend, Bisham.
Bisham was good. I like Bisham.
He was very English and very kindly. Much obliged.
And Bisham worked in the chemical department.
He was the PCM guy.
Yeah. And so he knows what's going on and all that. He was a Class B out of that area.
Well, of course, they told him that the chemical they were using to synth oxygen was to fight infectious diseases.
Which sounds very close to today, you know?
But of course, he got taken to the correctional facility for being too curious because he also helped manage these tablets that they give to the upper echelon of the society. These tablets are basically an antidote to the PCM, I think, and the oxygen. Because he said he took the tablets and it freed his mind, like he was alive for the first time, which means he was cured of this airborne
fear, anxiety, and it messes with your mind. So, being free, he was able to think for himself, and they noticed a change in his pattern, his behavior. So they sent him for correction, which apparently wipes and erases most of your mind.
He got picked up by the thought police.
Right, yeah, picked up by the thought police. Ministry of Information. And like I said, very 1984-ish, very paranoia-ish.
Dystopian. So the Doctor says, "What are you on for?" And he said, "For being curious." He says, that gets you jailed.
So he explains to the Doctor what's going on with the air. The Doctor figures it out. In the meantime, the Doctor is rearranging stuff on the board behind him, with his teeth, pulling out things, plugging in.
Because they're in a straitjacket.
Yeah, they're in straitjackets. So somebody comes in to put helmets on them, to wipe their minds, and give them pain. Helmets.
You sound very Norse today.
Oh, okay.
Your diction. Hermut.
Hermut?
Hermut.
Okay. So the Doctor, now you got me thinking about
Richard.
Alright, so they have helmets on, and it's supposed to erase the mind and induce pain. Mm-hmm. And the guy comes in and he starts messing with the levers. I was like, I wouldn't do that. He goes with the center lever and he gets electrocuted, falls down. Then some other people come in, they start working on it, and
meanwhile, the underground said that they would execute Leela if the doctor hadn't returned within a certain amount of time that they mark on a candle that's burning.
Yeah.
So they're getting ready to cut up Leela, and obviously she's not too happy about that.
She fights back. I like
it.
She's a warrior.
They toss some people. Veet wants her clothes.
Yeah, she wants her skins, the clothes.
So she's putting up a fight. Just when they have her cornered, Cordo comes back and says, no, the whole thing's off. The doctor didn't return
captured
because he was captured by security. He sent to corrections. And
yeah, so
there must have been something wrong with the card. And Veet said, no, there's nothing wrong with the card. It's perfect. So then the doctor's in cahoots.
So then Leela starts trying to get them to go fetch and save the doctor. And she's like, does no one willing to save him? You sent him there.
It's a strange argument to make after these people are just trying to kill you. and they sent the doctor to his death. And she's like, who's coming to save him?
Well, in the meantime, she won them over.
Well, no, she won Cordo over, who was already won over.
Hold on. She won them over to not killing her. She's gaining their, at least,
they didn't
respect.
Kill her because Cordo explained why the doctor didn't
not like that, but nobody could kill her. They were trying.
I think they were about to.
No, she kept keeping them at bay with the knife.
Anyway, so she gathers the confidence of Cordo, and they climb up the ladder to save the doctor, and then they run into K9, who didn't stay in the TARDIS. Which
wait, you're skipping some stuff.
We skipped over how Haid the Gatherer and his receptionist Marn sniffed around the TARDIS and were trying to.
Well, yeah, they sniffed around the TARDIS. Oh god, this is all over the place.
No, it's perfectly on.
Okay, so. All right. So anyway, the doctor gets let out of the correction center by the Gatherer Haid. Okay. And he thinks the doctor is one of these minor guys, and he believes that there's a revolution that's going to start, and that the doctor is attempting to arm the underground. So, you mark it at all.
You're out of ink.
I know. Alright, so he thinks the doctor is actually attempting to arm the underground. So he wants the doctor to lead him back to the underground. So he frees the doctor, meets the doctor, lets the doctor sit in his chair, and then actually he says, look, it was just a mistake, it was a computer error, and he gives the doctor the 1,000 talents.
And a tea leaf. Raspberry leaf.
Yeah. So the doctor takes the 1,000 talents and goes back to the underground.
Can you clear something up? That's really out of ink. Is it clicked?
Yeah, there
it goes.
All right. Clear that up.
The black spot of death marked. What do they call it?
That actually comes up in a Doctor Who episode much later.
And Pirates of the Caribbean. Not related. I'm sure there's some crossover actors. What was I going to say? Oh, tea. Lavender. What do you think about lavender tea, right? Nice to smell. Taste terrible.
What tea?
Yeah, lavender tea.
Oh, and lavender.
Yeah. I do not think lavender is meant to be consumed. that is for your scent only. Is a scent only flower. It does not taste good in tea. Stop making lavender tea, people.
Oh, I mean, other people can do it. We don't have to drink it, but no, I'm trying to think if there's any crossover between Pirates of the Caribbean and...
Sure.
Yes!
There's the mayor, right? Is in Doctor Who. Elizabeth Swan's dad.
The governor?
Yeah, the governor.
Alright, you're talking about the guy from Brazil. What? The movie Brazil.
Oh, I have watched Brazil. Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
British actor. Lots of British
He's not in Doctor Who.
Really?
I'm sure. I know, it's kind of an oversight, actually. No, but the guy who plays the main bad guy...
Johnny Depp. Oh.
No, not Johnny Depp. The guy he stole the ship from.
Oh, Barbossa.
Yeah.
But
what's his name? Richard.
No idea.
Anyway,
big nose, didn't age well.
Anyway, is it him?
Or are you thinking?
No, it's not him. Gosh,
Beckett, the fleet admiral.
No.
East India Trading Company. Or are you thinking of Davy Jones? Squid tentacles. There are a lot of bad guys.
There are actually a lot of bad guys. No, the guy I'm thinking of. No, the guy I'm thinking of. I don't think he was in.
There's gotta be some crossovers, right? Because there are a lot of UK actors in Pirates of the Caribbean.
There are.
One of them's got to be in Doctor Who.
I'll have to keep thinking.
It's like 6 Degrees to Kevin Bacon.
Right, but
British
came up
actors
early tonight.
are in everything. They're taking all the American actors' jobs. They're the Spider-Mans of... And they all do American accents.
Not necessarily well.
Better than us.
No, not necessarily well.
Tom Holland has a better American accent than I do.
Which one's Tom Holland?
The new Spider-Man.
Oh, the new kid?
Yeah. Ewan McGregor, Hugh Jackman. Like,
Ewan McGregor's fantastic.
Right.
But he doesn't have a good American accent.
He does?
No.
He sounds so sophisticated.
No, he's got a good...
Meanwhile, I'm sitting here saying, yeehaw, y'all. Because I'm Texan.
I'm mixing up two guys. There are two guys I thought were the same, but they're not.
I do that all the time.
But I'm still looking for crossover. All right. All right.
Anyway. It gets you in trouble when you mix up the two girls.
All right. Anyway, let's see. So the doctor is sent, and he goes back to the underground with the Talmots. Talmots. The money.
Talmars.
Yeah, the money.
Helmuts.
with the money. He goes back with the money, Talmars. And they're like, you have the money? They'll never... Why did they let you go? Well, they thought it was this. I don't know why they let me go.
Very suspicious.
Yeah.
In the
meantime,
Leela,
K9, Cordo are going to rescue the doctor, but he's already been released. But they make their way in, and they find... What's his name?
Bisham. With the jelly babies.
Right, the doctor left some jelly babies by Bisham's head. The doctor tried to get him released whenever he was being released.
What about my chum?
He said, no, only you. And he's like, oh, and he leaves the jelly babies. So he says, oh, you're friends of the doctor. And so they recognize him as a friend, and they recognize the jelly babies. And they rescue him, and he becomes big in the resistance.
Remember when Beanie Babies were a big thing in the 90s?
Yeah.
You ever collect any of those?
No.
Do you think they hold their value?
No.
Do people still collect jelly?
Maybe.
I remember hearing about this divorce court where they're trying to...
divide the Beanie Babies. Oh, man. It's just ridiculous.
That's basically what NFTs are nowadays, I think. Big old fad of collectibles.
NFTs.
What did I say?
NFTs?
Yeah, non-fungible tokens.
Non-fungible tokens.
You don't know about NFTs? You know about NFTs.
I know what fungible is.
They're basically digital Beanie Babies.
They're digital Beanie Babies.
Everyone's raving about them.
What? I don't know about this.
You've never heard about NFTs?
No.
That's all anyone's been talking about.
I am not listening to these people, apparently. What the hell is it?
There's this blockchain technology on the internet, which is basically a cloud of servers keeping track of digital receipts.
I know what blockchain is.
Yeah, so they use that technology to mint an image, like a JPEG, and they say, this is totally unique. This is the original. And if you buy it, you have your receipt to this original image, and you basically own the rights to this original image. And people are going crazy. So they'll buy this random JPEG of a monkey face for $1,000 and resell it for $10,000. And basically, it's like another. Where's that squeaking coming from? Oh. That sounds like it's coming.
I think it's from your chair.
No, it's not. Anyway, people are losing their minds about this new digital currency.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so stupid.
It's very stupid. It's digital beanie baby is people collecting. They're making video games based off of NFTs, non-fungible tokens. People are. It's dumb.
Okay, I'm so glad I'm not a part of this mess.
Yeah, no. It's basic. Think Facebook metaverse, virtual reality, purchasing non-physical things. It's all digital media.
So it'd be like me purchasing a unique piece of art in the real world, except I'm purchasing it on the YouTube, on the
It's like you
internet.
Purchased the digital version of the Mona Lisa for $10,000, and you own the digital original of the Mona Lisa, and then people will right-click, copy, and paste it for free.
Why?
There's no point. There's no why. But you'll have the receipt for the purchase of the original digital version of this JPEG, even though people can just screenshot it and click and paste it. But it's yours. The original is yours. So you can resell it to some other schmuck for $1 million. And basically, it's like a hot potato. You don't want to be the last one stuck on it.
Like a monkey's paw.
People can go back and look at the receipts and say this sold for $1,000 and $5,000 and $10,000. If I buy it, maybe I can sell it for $15,000. But if no one buys it, you're screwed. They don't actually care about the NFT JPEG. They just are intrigued by the financial incentives of this very popular hot potato beanie baby. It's probably not gonna. I think the blockchain's gonna last for a while, but the whole NFT fad's not gonna be.
It's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty goofy.
Okay. All right. So
why are we talking?
Doctor Who.
Beanie Baby.
No, Doctor Who.
Jelly babies led to Beanie Babies led to NFT.
Alright. So anyway, where were we in the cereal?
So Leela and K9 and Cordo just broke into the correctional facility.
And they get out Beecham.
Rescue Bisham.
Bisham.
Take off his
Actually, no, a guy named Beecham.
Beecham?
Yeah, that was his last name, Beecham.
Does he live on the beach?
Possibly. He lives in New Zealand now.
Well, it's not, all of New Zealand's on the beach.
Right. So they rescue Bisham. He knows a whole lot about what's going on inside the system because he was a high-level grade engineer, essentially.
He made all the PCP.
Right, and they take him down, and they're trying to get back to the underground.
How do you do that?
They're trying to get back to the underground, and they're in these different corridors, and they're trying to go through, and they have K9 with them, and they get caught, and they're looking around the corner.
They set up blockades.
Right, there's blockades in the corridors and these subways.
They have a little go-kart made out of mattresses, and they're weird.
And so they turn around, they try to go down a different corridor, and then there's a big cart coming at them, which pretty much fills the corridor, and they're stuck, and that's where episode 2 ends.
Episode 3.
Episode 3.
You say, run. No, it's too late.
No.
Already seen us. And then the car pulls up, and they say, drop your guns. And Leela says, K9, bite him. And he says, what? She says, shoot him.
No, that was early. But she told K9 to get behind the corner. K9 comes up. K9 shoots him. They get in the cart. They decide to use the cart to ram the barricade, which they do.
Ramming speeds of 5 miles per hour.
Oh, right. Doctor Who budgets were never good back then. So they ran the barricade with the cart. They eventually get back to the underground. Although Leela gets shot. Leela's shot. She's grazed on the head.
She's grazed and forms a big old pimple on us.
And the Cordo and Besham leave her. They take off with K9. They go back to the underground and save the doctor just as he's about to be branded. Yeah, they're threatening the doctor with branding if he doesn't give up information.
That's why Mandrill should be on the antagonist more.
But he became good.
When it served his own interests.
Eventually, he figured it out. He finally figured out that they were on his side, too, you know?
I don't think anyone's on Mandrill's side. Mandrill's on Mandrill's side.
No, eventually he's on everybody's side. Alright, so, you okay with the hiccups?
Nope. That was scary.
That's the whole point. So scary with the hiccups.
I just never... No one's actually startled.
Did I startle you?
Yeah, it was very startling.
Good, excellent. You should either get more Twisted Tea or water or both.
I remember hanging out with this girl, and I get the worst case of hiccups, and they don't go away, and I do the water thing and the spoon, and then the swat, and the holding your breath, and they won't go away. And sometimes it happens because of alcohol. But she got so annoyed. She's like, "Quit doing that." I'm like, "I would if I could." She's like, "It's so easy to get rid of hiccups." I'm like, "Not for me."
Right, you know to inflate your lungs, right? Okay, I'm completely unaware of that.
I think that reset my head.
Okay, the way I know how to do it is to, hold in as much air as you theoretically possibly can. Fill your lungs capacity, hold your nose, hold in everything as long as you can, and it'll push down the diaphragm, because a fold in your stomach that, or a fold in whatever that's kind of gone under, and now you're trying to reset it.
I might pass out if I do that.
Do it as long as you can.
Do you know what that fold is called?
No.
It's called a gunt.
A gunt.
G-U-N-T.
Nothing to do with the gut.
It's between the gut and the... It's that fold of skin, like underneath your belt line.
Alright.
Also referred to as a fupa.
A boopa?
Fupa.
Fupa.
You know what a fupa stands for?
I don't want to hear it.
I think gunt is the most tame word for that litter fat. Yeah, there's there.
Alright.
There's the tank, and then there's the gunt, and then there's a fupa.
Go to some water. I
think that works. But I'll go anyway.
Did you get?
Yeah, I think they're gone.
Okay.
I'm still gonna
get a refill.
Do you need some more paisano?
Good for now.
Okay.
You get a refill.
What is this coaster doing on the ground?
Alright.
Oh, go ahead. I was just gonna talk about S2. Okay. Getting kicked out of the podcast.
You get kicked out. You need water, apparently. And or Twisted Tea.
Alright.
Cavazo. That was the name of the Superman. Cavazo. Alright. Anyway. Okay. So... Leela gets grazed by the laser shot wound. She gets captured because Cordo and Beezum keep going with K9. They barely save the doctor in time. He's about to be branded. But Leela's been captured. So the doctor gets saved. And the doctor and his new friend Beezum and Cordo finally convince the underground people that they need to fight back, that they need to try and start a revolution, and that by turning off the airflow of the PCM drug, which is what's keeping them all afraid and anxious, is the best way to actually do it, because when that happens, everyone will rise up. So eventually you find out that Margot, or whatever his name is, Mango, used to be a grade B in the central processing unit. And he's like, yeah, we can do it. We can turn off everything centrally here. There's only 2 workers. We can barge in, we can take over, we can turn it off, and then everyone will be able to breathe freely, and after time, everyone will be able to think for themselves. So they're like, well, great, let's do it. And he's like, well, okay, so they go to the central hub, the central control place, and they take over, and they say to the two guards, well, we're starting the revolution. Are you with us or you're against us? If you're willing to join the revolution, you're good. If not, you're going to die. And they say, well, we're joining, as most people do at gunpoint. So they join the revolution, but unlike people who are just saying that, they actually seem to properly join the revolution and help out as best they can. So they turn off all that, and then they find out that Leela is about to be executed by steam, where she's going to cry and scream and make all these wailing sounds, which will please the collector, because he is this little tiny guy on a
housekeeping.
Alright, because the collector's.
So you're all finished with the recap. Heather's always kicking me out of the recap so we can finish the plot summary, but
no, I'm just.
He says I get us too off topic.
That part's true. The other part's not true.
Can you blame me though? Is it not easy to get sidetracked?
It is easy to get sidetracked.
It's funner talking
it's
about
super easy to get sidetracked.
My cousin and his wife are having their fourth. What is that to me? A second cousin once removed?
What?
I don't know. Your cousin has a child. What is that child in relation to you?
That's a first cousin once removed.
First cousin once removed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I'm having. I have like 6 half cousins removed 6 times.
Where are they half cousins?
First cousins. What's a half cousin?
I was asking you.
I'm my own grandpa. You know that song?
Yes. Love that song. Ray Stevens. Love that song. Based off of All You Zombies.
Complicated. When does it... Who are you allowed to marry? And when... Where do you draw that line in the family tree?
For most places?
So you don't end up being your own grandpa.
Wait, for most places or for specific places?
Him being his own grandpa had nothing to do with incest, by the way. That was a...
No.
Total...
It was him marrying his...
Oh, man, don't...
It was him marrying his stepmother's mother. He married his stepmother's mother, and that's why he became his own grandpa.
Because eventually, if you go back far enough, we're all basically married to someone in our family tree.
Well,
because they all diverge from some branch somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone is like within 30th cousin of everyone else on the planet.
You're married to your 30th cousin. Gross.
Probably closer. Yeah. No, second cousins are allowed in a lot of places. First cousins are allowed in some places.
So there's a difference between cousin and first cousin?
No. Okay. First cousin is specific. That's your mother or father's brother or sister's kid.
I'm already confused.
What?
Okay,
your aunt or uncle's kid.
A cousin is. Okay.
That's your cousin.
Yeah. And then their child would be a second cousin?
Technically, it's your first cousin once removed.
Oh.
But a lot of people use the term second cousin. Normally,
so those two are the same thing? Oh, okay.
No, normally second cousin would be your kid and that kid. It would be second cousins.
And they're okay to marry each other?
Technically, yes. In most places.
I don't know.
I swear, this is about Doctor Who in theory.
It relates. I don't know.
It relates somehow. Oh my god.
Wait, so you finished the recap, or where are we at?
Okay. No, we were in episode 3. We're almost done with episode 3. We were gone like a minute and a half because you were gone like a minute and a half.
I did so much.
No!
I found out I'm having another first cousin once from...
Alright, so they're in the control room. They find out that Lee's about to be executed by steam. And they're like, well, doctor's like, well, can I get in there? Well, you can through these shafts, but we have to turn off this valve and...
shafts. Very sexual, this whole episode. I love the whole sci-fi trope of being... it's very... dystopian to be executed by a steam vent. Like there's this game which is you're trying to make this civilization in this snow, basically global cooling thing, and then the world's covered in snowpiercer, and you're trying to make this city, and you're balancing resources like heat and food and production, and then if you do a bad job they execute you as the town mayor by tying you to the steam vent, and you get to see yourself die. Fun game.
What's it called?
I have no idea. Steampunk?
No, steampunk's a genre.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're like, hey, we can hold these pipes for 2 minutes. You need to get in there. You can get to Leela, you get out, but you've got 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
And the doctor goes in.
Otherwise, everything explodes.
Right.
Yeah.
So the doctor goes in, crosses the pipes, manages to get there, and he rescues Leela. In the meantime, they have a live show where they're waiting to hear.
They tell him he has 10 seconds, about 30 seconds.
I'm going to the restroom.
He used the PA system.
Come on. We're in episode 4 now. Leela and the steam pipe thing, end of episode 3, beginning of episode 4.
So they
you recap. I'm going to the restroom.
The collector and the governor find out about Leela being rescued because Bisham used the PA system to say, "Doctor, hurry up! You're running out of time." But they were publicly executing Leela, so they had microphones set up in the steam chamber so they could hear. I'm gonna find out the name of that video game. What was the name of that video game? Who played that video game? It's somewhere in my library. This is the entire conversational header's gone. It's just trying to... Oh my gosh, where is it? It should be somewhere. What is it called? I might be in the wrong catalog here. Could have sworn it would be in this list. Just trying to find out the name of that steampunk dystopian snowpiercer game. Anyway, so episode 4, they get back into the control room through the vent, and the doctor goes, "Why did you use a PA system?" He's like, "I had to let you know you're running out of time." He's like, "They had microphones wired up so they could hear Leela die, so now they know." So it's like, well, we better get this revolution underway. I'm still gonna find that video. Hatter doesn't let me bring my phone into the podcast. I wonder why. It's not at all distracting. But sometimes you need to look up information to prevalent questions. I'm never gonna be able to find this video game. What is it called? Well, anyway, so they say we better get this revolution underway. So the doctor has a plan to use the collector's main PA system to announce to the colony that the rebellion has won, so it can spread information and that everyone can join the rebellion. Kind of like a ruse or propaganda. So he makes his way to the the collector's chamber with Leela, and K9 stays guarding the chemical control room with Cordo, I think, is left there. Meanwhile, everyone else, Mandrill and Bisham and Singe and Hackett, all go to join the rebellion because they said the fight is moving on. And so the Doctor makes it to the control room, which is relatively unguarded because the controller went down to the public execution. And he's messing with the systems. There's one guard, but he hypnotizes him after Leela scuffles with him or something, and he puts him to sleep. And while he's hypnotizing the guard, accidentally puts Leela to sleep as well. So he covers the guard's ears and turns to Leela and says,
"Wake up! We're not done yet."
We're done. The end.
No.
So they just hypnotized the one guard in the controller's room.
See, it takes longer than you think it does.
So he can. Well, you were gone less than I was.
No, I doubt that. All right.
I spent most of the time trying to think of that one video game. So he uses the PA system to announce to the colonies that the rebellion is underway, or technically he already announced that he's taken power. Kind of propaganda to just get everyone to join in. So obviously, Haid and Pyle, the Collector and Gatherer, are not very happy about this. So the Collector Pyle is going back to his chamber. Meanwhile, Haid, the Gatherer, hears about rebellions gathering on the rooftops, and he says, those plebeians, they're not allowed to enjoy the sun. It's much too good for them.
And he goes up there and he chastises everybody.
Without guards or anything.
Well, he's used to them following and obeying his orders, but they're no longer succumbing to the PCM gas or whatever. So they get angry at him and they
PCP.
They get angry at him and they take him up on their shoulders and they throw him off the side of the kilometer-high building, and he plummets to his death. How many deaths do we have in this serial?
2.
Just 2.
That's
an incredibly non-violent Doctor Who serial.
I thought so as well.
Yeah, half a death an episode on average.
That's gotta be a record.
It may be, yeah. Except maybe, well, no.
There might be one that has 0.
Yeah.
But they're not very common.
No, The Edge of Destruction.
Was
that two-parter in the TARDIS?
Non-violent. Oh, where the Daleks are chasing them?
No, just the 2-part in the TARDIS.
Oh, the lead up to the...
No. It was An Unearthly Child, the Daleks, and The Edge of Destruction. It was that 2-parter where they didn't know if the show was going to continue or not. There was just a 4 of them in the TARDIS.
What if it hadn't continued from there?
No, that would have been a short-run show.
Yeah.
It would have been sad. But there was no death in that because it was just the 4 of them in the TARDIS and they all survived.
There was the death of the show, possibly.
No, but it didn't die.
Yeah.
Alright, so anyway, the Collector gets thrown off the roof. The Gatherer gets thrown off the roof. And then the Doctor goes up to the Collector's private palace vault. He breaks into the vault with the sonic screwdriver. They get in. Leela gets stunned.
To the...
Yeah, I don't know. It always seems so easy. What are you doing? I don't know. Breaks in with the sonic screwdriver. Leela jumps in. She gets stunned.
It's called Frostpunk, Last City on Earth.
Cool.
That's the
And Caviezel. That was the name of the Superman. I thought of it.
Caviezel?
Caviezel.
Oh, the new one? You're talking about
the new Superman.
No.
How many Supermen are there?
Which one are you? Caviezel?
The guy with the mustache, right?
You made that up. Who is Caviezel? You're talking about some Bollywood Superman.
No.
There's no one named Caviezel.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No.
There's no... What is it?
You have your phone there. Get off your phone. Get off your phone. Phones.
His name.
James Caviezel.
Henry Cavill.
That's it. Cavill.
Who's Caviezel?
Cavill.
Caviezel is Jesus.
What?
Caviezel was Jesus and the Mel Gibson Jesus.
Oh, there you go. See, Caviezel's not bothered.
Caviezel versus Superman.
I thought Henry Cavill was Jesus. Come have a seat, Lisa. Join us for the podcast. We need you. We need you for information.
Like, come on.
You're a fact checker. Heather yells at me when I look up things on my phone.
What? Here's me on your phone.
Caviezel.
That was close. Cavell.
Henry Cavill.
Cavell. It sounds like his father's name.
Cavalry. Thank you, Alyssa.
We love you, sunshine.
The rare appearance of Alyssa, our fact checker.
All right. So anyway, the doctor bumps in the collector. He talks to the collector briefly, and the collector is like, okay, so he's this weird kelpish race from.
That's how it'll keep us.
What was the name of the race?
The Usarians.
Usarians, like usury. And apparently his race saved mankind from Earth when it was dying, took them to Mars. When that planet was used up, took them to Pluto. And when Pluto's used up, they're just going to let the human race die.
Do you think that means Elon Musk is a Usarian?
No.
Taking humanity to Mars? You think that's where Terraforming Mars, the board game, came from?
No.
The Usarians?
No.
I think so.
Alright. Okay, so anyway, so the doctor rewires his chair and rewires his computer so that he freaks out. Yeah, they don't say reverse the polarity.
Reverse something.
Yeah, but anyway, so he turns back into chloroform, sinks into his chair, shrinks, and goes down a little hatch in the bottom of his
bedpan.
Yeah, it looks like a bedpan. They plug it up. The doctor's like, okay, so you guys are good. Y'all need to go back to Earth. It will have regenerated itself by now. Y'all be cool. And the doctor,
Leland,
Leland,
has thawed. The Snowpiercer has crashed. They see the polar bear, so they ran the Earth.
All right. So the doctor, Leland, and K9 leaving the TARDIS. Alright, end of episode 4. Alright, so did you have any comments and or questions?
Well, on to episode 5.
There is no episode 5, there's 4 episodes.
Talmuts. 132 Talmars.
Talmars, was it?
Talons?
No, Talmars.
Yeah. Their currency.
Talmar.
Yeah. There's no question there at all.
Okay.
There's a death tax.
Yes.
We also have a death tax here in America.
Essentially, yes. They call it an estate tax, but it's basically a death tax.
Death tax. Yeah.
If you're leaving behind more than, I think, $4 million worth of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere it kicks in there.
Yeah. What else is there?
What is is that like 10%?
I have no idea. I think it's more like a third.
Holy cow.
Yeah, that's why it's hideous. And the main problem is it's not so bad for like super rich people because they can afford it or get around it.
Dies like $1 trillion goes to the government.
Yeah. Well, once again,
it's insane.
The super rich can make trust funds or they can pay it. The problem is mostly for ranchers and farmers. Their land might be worth X amount, and they have to pay on it, but they can't afford to pay that.
Yeah, they don't.
That's the main thing.
Liquidity
ranchers and farmers,
right? Assets. Right. So here's the government with their honey pot. They got the one hand in, and that's not. They put the second hand in.
The whole cereal.
And then they put their foot in, and I'm talking about our government. We're on our way to. I think the government's run by Usarians.
The whole cereal is about an overarching government taxing the hell of the people.
1980.
Right. And the people eventually rising up against them and throwing them out, you know?
Yes. Foreshadowing? We're spreading misinformation.
Oh, God.
We're going to be a little insurrection. Blah, blah, blah. Oxygen. Pluto's no place. Oh, the doctor tries to ditch K9. We kind of see the doctor's love-hate relationship with machines. He says, oh, machines aren't good for anything. They don't have human intellect. And then we see him become accepting of K9. He says, that's my dog. And then at this, the doctor is very bipolar, ill-tempered. Because he's very snappy. He's very... So the first scene in this episode, where K9 is beating him at chess.
Yes.
He then treats K9 like a robot, and he says, "You stay here. This is no place for A," and then he trails off. So he doesn't call him a dog or a computer.
Right.
But he says, K9 says, "Check," and he says, "What? Impossible. A machine can't."
Right, he says mate in 6 moves.
Yeah.
But the whole joke was Pluto is not a place for a dog, which the dog Pluto.
I don't know if that was the joke. I think it was a heavy coincidence. Anyway, my point is that Baker is very ill-tempered.
Sometimes, yeah.
Very wish-washy. He's very mean to the people closest to him. He kind of lashes out.
Was it? We only hurt the ones we love?
No, I hurt people I don't love. I want them to have the most hurt.
Okay. What's your next question / comment?
Something about PCP.
PC.
Valerium gas. How much do you think K9 weighs? Not in real life, not the prop, but like lore-wise. Is it a very dense machine?
No, I've seen people pick him up with not too much difficulty.
So I did have a question about how did the earthly people on Pluto know about Gallifrey and the Time Lords, but it turned out that the Gather was actually a Usarian.
Right.
And that's how
they had, yeah.
Yeah. Also, they did not value the Time Lords or Gallifrey very highly or profitable.
Right, because apparently the Gallifreyans were not a market to be exploited.
Oh, we talked about our new drinking game.
Yeah.
Steam chamber, Frostpunk last city on Earth. Who profits? So what? Does it ever talk about why the Usarians are trying to...
Well, apparently they're making money.
Talmars,
sending it back to the home world, but
what do they use that for?
It seems weird because they...
Alright, they're not investing in...
Well, they've got to be sending back raw materials because the basic money would be worthless there.
Supposedly, but that's also how, so many currencies are tied to the US dollar internationally and foreign exchange markets. I'm sure once a species grows beyond a single planet, they have multi-planetary currencies.
Okay, well, no, here's the problem. If you make so much money on that planet, and you send it back to the other planet, unless you're printing more money on that planet, you're going to run out of money. But if you're printing money on that planet, you just print the money and send it back. It's irrelevant.
No,
so the point is they have to be sending back raw materials.
I think this is a coalition of planets, and they have the standard, exchange of currencies, and the Usarians use Talmars. So they're exporting the raw materials that they're mining from Pluto, and then sending the interchangeable currency back to the home world, or exchanging it that way.
I think it's
not physically, digitally.
I think you're correct, but in terms of raw materials, yes, I think it's in raw materials because they do mention drop ships. In the first episode, when the collector goes up and looks at the TARDIS.
Yeah, the crates, because they
do mention the drop ships.
Yeah.
So I think it has to be raw materials are sitting back as opposed to money. But
what would they be doing with the raw materials other than selling it to make?
Well, they can sell it at the home world for the current currency or whatever.
They might as well trade off Pluto and just send, the currency.
But I don't think it's the way it works. But it's all left vague.
But why?
We don't have any specifics on that.
Do we see? Here's the question I ask every episode: is do we see the Usarians again? Do we see this protagonist?
Never.
Never. They seem like a very big thing.
Not really.
Okay.
They're pretty pathetic.
Well, that's kind of disappointing. I really like the non-combative, more manipulative villain.
Well, the Masters all like that too. Yeah, we get those.
It's kind of forceful.
We don't see the Usarians again, at least not up to the point of all the stuff I've seen, which is everything except up to this year.
Yeah. We just never answered the question: who profits from the exploitation of Pluto?
Apparently, the Usarians.
I guess
the company.
We don't know how or why. The company.
The company.
How does K9 charge his battery? They explain that
he shuts down and self-recharges with a built-in nuclear generator.
Nuclear generator.
Yeah.
Does that mean he could explode into a nuclear reaction?
In theory, I guess, but it'd be very small.
Very small. Just a little bit of plutonium, uranium.
He's a little guy, can't hold that much.
These Aryans.
How many nuclear power plants are there in California?
I don't know. One.
Yeah.
So efficient. That's because they're going all electric anyway. But
no, there's only one. It creates about 6% of the electricity for California.
The one power plant.
Yeah, 6%. But
if we invested
in a lot more nuclear, it'd be so much better.
So efficient.
Yeah. It's the cleanest energy out there right now.
Yeah, not necessarily uranium, but some sort of nuclear reactor. They have other...
No, the modern generations of nuclear power plants are amazing.
But they have things that are even more efficient than uranium. And cheaper to mine. And less volatile. Nuclear energy, guys. That's what we do.
It's good.
Fracking.
I like fracking. Alright, what's next?
Why are the 6 suns on Pluto necessary? It talks about them intentionally constructing, what do they call them?
The 6 suns.
In station fusion satellite suns. 6 of them for each megapolis.
Well, yeah,
so
it's basically
constantly daytime.
Right, basically the 6 antipoles of the planet.
Yeah.
Antipodes. So
what is an antipode?
It's the exact opposite sides of a globe.
Well, a globe isn't a hexagon.
No.
It's not a voxel. It's
you have
sphere.
A planet.
Yeah.
And you have the exact North Pole and the exact South Pole, right?
3, 4, 5, 6. Okay.
Right. So the exact North Pole and the exact South Pole are antipodes. Exact opposites on the planet. But yeah, so you've got the 6 points. They don't mention ever why all 6 of those are necessary.
Need to be illuminated all the time. Wouldn't it be easier just to have a satellite in orbit and have a day and night cycle?
I guess you could.
And the plebeians don't even get to see the sun anyway, so it's just for the oligarchs and the...
Right, but I think the end-all be-all is that it's always daytime, so it's always working time. That's what I get out of it. I mean, that may or may not be correct, but if it's always daytime, it's always working time, and they don't need to sleep at night, and they can take the Q stuff and sleep. Because the one guy,
but they didn't see the sun anyway.
Right, but the poor guy is working 20...
He sleeps for 3 hours.
3 hours a night, and he's told not to sleep and keep working with the medicine.
Do drugs to stay out longer, but then they tax the drugs to the caffeine.
Yeah, it's just so horrible. So he ends up, sleeping barely 3 hours a night for years. It's
kind of like you. Running the shop.
Back in the day, yeah.
You're like, I've been here for 18 hours. It's pre-release night.
I've done that before many times.
It sounds rough.
It is. Alright.
So, the pile the collectors made it sound like the suns were necessary because out of maintenance they would burn out.
Because they're so far from the regular sun, yeah. Without those suns, there would be no life on the planet,
We never did get like a timeline for this because basically humanity died out from Earth and Mars and they're just on Pluto. There's only 10 million, 100 million humans left?
300 million.
300 million.
Yeah, he says.
So a little more than the population of the United States are all the humans.
We have 330 million.
Do we? I thought it was 250.
No, that was 20 years ago.
Oh.
Right now we have 330.
Well, they have a census every
10 years. 10 years. Every decennary.
I don't think it's 330.
We have about 335 million people in this country.
Population. We need our Alyssa fact checker.
Would you care to make a wager on this, sir?
Oh, yeah, too late.
Am I correct?
329.5 million. as of 2020.
Thank you, 330 million.
The last census I heard was like 280 million.
Yeah, that would have been 10 or 20 years ago.
They said birth rates were declining, but we're up 50 million people.
It's all the illegal aliens.
Where did they come from?
Yeah, it's a combination of legal immigration, and
immigration,
and a lot of illegal aliens.
Yeah, all those Canadians coming in from
mostly from the south, sir. But, some Canadians do, yeah. Anyway,
all those Australians boating in, all the Cubans going into Florida.
There are Cubans going to Florida, and we still have that policy.
Miserable stories I hear from like them rafting, like escaping from Cuba. And putting things.
Communist countries suck. They really do.
I bet.
We're witnessing that right now in Shanghai. In Beijing and Guangzhou.
It's like
all over China.
China is complicated because it's like a layer of capitalism under a layer of communism under.
They have a rudimentary capitalist system controlled by a communist government,
which. A lot of people are saying it's how you make communism work is with a little bit of capitalism for the foundation.
The only way communism survives. The only way communism survives is on the carcass of capitalism.
Yeah.
You're feeding off the dead body. If you allow the body to die, you only have so long you can feed off of it, and then you die. So that's why they built capitalism finally under the communist system in China, because they saw what happened to Russia and they didn't want to fall themselves.
It's still horrible for human rights, even
yes.
if it is sustainable.
Yes. But anyway.
So do you think eventually that... we'll talk about politics.
We have 330 million people in the United States. Yeah.
A lot of people.
All right. So anyway, but there's 300 million people on Pluto. They eventually get back to Earth, and then eventually they leave Earth, and eventually Earth dies. And we get to watch it in the second episode of the first series of the current revival.
That's where we are in the timeline.
There you go.
Well, good to know. Well, that's all my questions, I think.
Alright, so anyway, we were going to do some more Heroes and Villains tonight, but it had been too long since we drank, so tonight we're drinking. Next week we're going to watch Josie and the Pussycats at the Alamo for our movie night.
A musical? Musical numbers.
Yeah, they're like not particularly a musical. Yeah.
Like less music than Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Then we're gonna do. Okay. Then 2 weeks from there we're gonna do Underworld. Then.
What is Underworld? Is that the one with vampires?
That's the next Doctor Who serial. 96.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a movie night.
No. Then we're gonna finish up the third Doctor, Heroes and Villains, and then we're gonna do Invasion of Time and finish off our current season.
Omega.
Yep. And then we will finally go into the next season, The Key of Time. Big season, big fun, big awesomeness. First time they do a whole season story arc.
Is that related to the Key of Marinus? Key of Time?
In some ways, it's kind of a. We've mentioned this before. In some ways, it's kind of a over serialization of it, where instead of each part being an episode, each part is a serial.
So later on, we see the scepter and the sash as well. I thought the scepter was the key. I'm confused.
We're getting there. No, that's the key of Rassilon, not the key of time.
Oh, the key of Marinus.
Key of time is different. The key of Marinus is much earlier.
Does the Master show up again?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, not during the Key of Time. Instead, we'll get the Black Guardian and the White Guardian.
Like the Guardian.
You haven't seen them yet.
I've seen the Guardian of the Galaxy. What was his name? Chen?
Different. Oh, Chen. Yeah.
Guardian of the Galaxy. Sell out
no, he's
to the
Guardian of the Solar System or whatever.
Oh, so
yeah. No, this is the White and the Black Guardian, and they'll be fun. But we're getting there.
Light and void, day and night.
Right. Anyway, we will see you in 2 weeks, where we do Underworld. Alright. Goodbye. I still think it's your turn.
Okay, we'll check the playback.
No, I just think it's your turn.
Guys, whose turn is it?
Alright. What? Stop that.